My name is Hajim Musweda. I'm a 28-year-old man working as a security guard. Today, when I came home from the night shift, I found Alice collapsed in the living room. She was barely breathing, but she seemed to have completely lost consciousness. "Hey, what's wrong, Alice? Hey, Alice!" No matter how many times I called out to her or shook her body, she wouldn't say anything. She was even snoring, which she usually doesn't do. I was afraid that this might be a much worse situation than I thought. If I don't call an ambulance soon, she might be in serious trouble. I quickly pull out my cell phone from the jacket I was wearing over my security guard uniform. With a trembling hand, I pushed the dial button for the ambulance and called the fire department for help. "This is the Tokyo Fire Department. Is this a fire or an ambulance?" "It's an emergency. I came home and found my wife collapsed in the living room." "Please calm down. Can you tell us your name and address?" "My name is Hajim Musweda. My address is apartment 3rd Street in XX City." "I understand. We will send an ambulance right away. Can you tell us about your wife's condition so that we can take care of her as soon as we arrive?" "Well, she's breathing, but she is completely unconscious. Oh, and she's been snoring loudly." "Thank you very much. Perhaps there is some abnormality or damage to the brain. Please do not move your wife's body until the ambulance arrives." "Yes, sir. I understand." I was talking pretty loudly on the phone during this time, but Alice didn't seem to hear all that commotion. The house did not appear to have been ransacked, and there was no external injuries to Alice's body. It was obvious that the cause of Alice's loss of consciousness was due to cerebral hemorrhage, heart attack, or some other illness. However, there was one thing in the situation that even I could tell at a glance was unusual. Why is she completely naked? Yes, for some reason, Alice was naked, with no clothes or underwear on. I checked later, but there was no towels in the bathroom she had used, and I remembered that Alice's body did not smell of shampoo or soap. If she had not been at home when she collapsed, it was possible that she had been in an accident, but our house was on the 4th floor of an apartment building with an automatic lock. It had a little too secure a security system for robbers or thugs to break in, but as long as Alice had no external injuries and there were no signs that our rooms had been broken into, the possibility that it was some kind of robbery or burglary was very remote. 5 or 10 minutes later, the paramedics finally arrived. Alice was put on a stretcher and taken to a nearby general hospital. According to the diagnosis, the cause of Alice's collapse was a cerebral hemorrhage. The hemorrhage was most likely caused by overexcitement. "Doctor, is Alice going to be okay?" "We won't know the details until she wakes up and we do an examination, but I think she's probably fine. There's a small amount of bleeding from the brain, and the pupil response is clear." "I'm glad to hear that. That's good." "But please be a little more careful from now on. Her health condition is likely to change since she's pregnant." "What? Pregnancy? Who is?" "Who? Your wife. You didn't know?" No, that's not right, because Alice and I haven't had sex for almost a year now, and it was Alice that refused to have sex with me. I don't know why. At that time, I came up with a hypothesis. My hypothesis was that Alice was having an affair with a man older than me. Probably, Alice was having wild sex with the guy in the living room until just before I came home from work, and finally, her blood vessels in her brain popped due to too much excitement. It all made sense. I'm afraid I have to ask you something. Do you know how long it took Alice to be brought to the hospital after she collapsed? "Well, roughly within 30 minutes, judging from the state of her brain. But why would you ask that?" "Oh no, I'm just curious." "Oh, okay." If the doctor's explanation is correct, the maximum time it took for Alice to collapse and be brought to the hospital was 30 minutes. Of that time, about 25 minutes must have been for the ambulance ride, which means that there was a gap of about 5 minutes between Alice's collapse and my return. Probably, her lover left the room during this time, but it would have been extremely difficult for him to leave the apartment without passing me when I came home in only 5 minutes. If this is the case, it is highly likely that her lover is a resident of the same apartment building. After confirming that Alice was being carried to the hospital room, I went straight to the detective agency. After arriving at the agency, I explained the situation to the staff and asked them to identify the male resident who was in the apartment at the time when Alice collapsed. And 2 days later, "We have narrowed it down to one suspect. The only man who was in the apartment between 9 and 9:30 a.m. 2 days ago was the man in room 403 named Peter." "That man, he's got a wife and kids, right?" "We also talked to the other residents and obtained eyewitness testimony that Peter frequently visited your room. Here's the report." "Thank you very much. I will transfer the rest of the money to your account tomorrow." Thus, having obtained circumstantial evidence that Alice was having an affair with Peter, a resident of the same floor of the apartment, I immediately went back to my house. I rang the doorbell of Peter's apartment, and a woman of about 30 years old came out. I don't know her well, but I guess she must be Peter's wife. I'm Josh from room 401. Is your husband at home? No, my husband is at work. Is there something you want to talk to my husband about? Yes, actually. I took out a stack of reports I had received from the detective agency and told her to read them. The first time she looked through the report, her face turned red. She seems to be very angry. Is it true, what is written here? Yes, it's true. All we have here is circumstantial evidence, but I think it's enough to prove your husband's infidelity. I understand. I will call my husband back immediately. I'm sorry, but we'll be coming to your house later, so please keep an eye on your wife to make sure she doesn't run away. Oh, no, actually. Alice has been in the Tokyo hospital since the day before yesterday. Hospitalized? What's wrong with her? Actually, let me explain the situation. My husband left your wife when she collapsed from a cerebral hemorrhage and ran away? What a jerk! Kathy told me that she would come to the hospital as soon as she could and left, looking red-faced with anger. Then, all I have to do is just relax in the hospital room and wait for the two of them to arrive. I had heard from the hospital this morning that Alice had woken up, so it was perfect. 10 minutes later, I arrived at the hospital where Alice was staying. When I entered the hospital room, Alice looked at me as if to say, "You're late." I was glad to see that she was doing well. Well, don't you look so grumpy. I'm sorry I'm late. Don't be. I heard from the doctor that I had a cerebral hemorrhage. Where have you been, leaving your wife in such a serious condition? Oh, I was having an important conversation with someone. Important talk? Is there anything more important in the world than visiting your wife in the hospital? I'm sorry, but your special someone is coming to visit you. It won't take long, so you better be patient. A special someone? Oh, my mother? No. More like someone you'd be surprised to see. Huh? Who? Don't be so secretive. Just tell me. Well, don't be in such a hurry. Don't worry, it will be soon. At that moment, the door rattled open. Alice was stunned to see two figures entering the hospital room. It was the arrival of Peter and Kathy. Hello, I'm Kathy, Peter's wife. It seems that you've been taking very good care of my husband. Why are you just standing there? Why don't you say hello, too? Hello, I'm sorry. What? What did you do? Huh? We already know that you guys have been having an affair. You got too excited during your affair with your lover and had a cerebral hemorrhage? That's so pathetic that I don't even want to feel sorry for you, you idiot. During an affair? Oh, you left me and ran away? I wanted to call an ambulance, but then they would know I was with Alice. Don't be ridiculous. One wrong move and I could have died. No, that's not important right now. What are you going to do, huh? The doctor said that Alice is pregnant. You're the father, you know, Peter. What? They know that too? What? A child? I didn't hear anything about that. No. We're getting an abortion soon. An abortion? Peter, you said you wanted me to have the baby. You said you would leave your wife and remarry me after the baby is born. That's a new one. You guys were planning to be together eventually. Peter, you have a wife and kids. Were you planning to abandon your family? No, I was just saying that so I could continue my relationship with Alice. Huh? You gotta be kidding me. You're the one who needs to stop kidding around. You're messing with someone else's husband, you slut. Ouch, I'm sick. Stop it. Kathy grabbed Alice by the hair and started swinging her around, and the catfight was stopped by the doctor who arrived on the scene. I settled the matter by saying that we should have another discussion after Alice was discharged from the hospital. As a result of the discussion among the four of us, it was confirmed that we would both divorce, and that Kathy and I would claim compensation from both Alice and Peter for the infidelity. Alice was to pay 2 million yen to me and 1 million yen to Kathy. Peter was to pay 1.5 million yen to me, 3 million yen to Kathy, and 100,000 yen per month in alimony for their children. Alice and Peter got married later, but their relationship has not been going well. The reason must be money. It seems that both of them have taken on a considerable amount of debt to pay the compensation. For Alice, the only good thing was that the brain hemorrhage didn't leave her with any permanent damage. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this story. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you again. Please subscribe to our channel.